Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Lakers lose 122-108 to the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City. And the first half, I thought the Lakers put up a pretty solid fight, even though they were down for the majority of the game. They kept it pretty close. I thought they played Dwight Howard very well, gave him some good minutes. And it really benefited the team. You know, he was really scoring. We did a great job getting him the ball, and he also did a fantastic job of just trying to put a body on Rudy Gobert and giving us a chance out there. So it started off pretty well. Had Wenyen Gabriel giving us length, stuff like that. Um, Russell Westbrook, like as I told you in that halftime video, that I thought he was playing a good floor game and is improving as a overall point guard, pure kind of setup point guard. He's getting better at some of those skills within this kind of awkward rhythm that we force him to be in with our style of play. And ultimately, I thought the effort was good in the first half. In the second half, I can't say I was feeling the same way about it. We got away from what really worked for us. Um, Frank put some lineups on the floor that were not very good, and I think what we also saw was Wenyen Gabriel get in foul trouble. And when he got in foul trouble, it hurt us because he was 3 for 4. And what he was also doing was getting 50-50 balls, rebounds, all the stuff we always talk about that we need from him, tip balls, things of that nature. He was doing a good job in this game, but he always picks up the worst fouls. And I think Utah was doing a good job of just doing the intelligent things, outsmarting us, flopping all over the floor and stuff like that, selling each and every foul necessary, and ultimately just playing a better game. Of course, they were more healthy than us. Bogdanovich is back now. House was back, so that was a big boost for their bench. And you just saw Rudy Gobert just take advantage. He had 17 big rebounds tonight, 20 plus points. You had Donovan Mitchell having 20 plus points tonight. Got a big game out of Mike Conley. He was shooting the ball pretty well. So it's just kind of hard to go up against a healthy team in their gym. Um, Even though they're not playing well, their offense kind of kicked it in gear a little more so than they had been. And you just saw them really able to take advantage of us being shorthanded. I gave praise to Trevor Ariza in the first half because I thought he was playing much better defense and I thought his conditioning was better. But I do think the coach leaned on him entirely too much tonight. Like I said, some of that had to do with when you Gabriel's foul trouble, so you can't get completely out of hand in calling that particular move. But at the same time, you just want to see us have more energy out there, um, and you just can't say that Trevor was able to give that to you for as long as you needed it. That first half in spurts, you saw good things. Two big blocks out of Trev, but ultimately, you can't keep him out there for too long. You just can't do it, not at this stage in his career. So I felt the coach did so, and I felt we were um, at a disadvantage out there a lot of the time because of that, but not limited to that. It was much more going on, obviously. Um, you point out the turnover situation, which was pretty good tonight. We only had 11, so you like that. Shot 71% from the line. You want us to shoot better there. Now, I was happy with how many 3-point shots we took. I think we only took like 22 of them, but our shot percentage was in the 20s. So there's a couple ways to look at that. I think the best thing to say is they weren't making the threes, so they cut it out. And I guess that's the best way I could look at it from a statistical standpoint. Um, when it's not falling, you don't want to take 40. You don't want to take 35 of them. You keep it short and sweet and try to get into the paint as best as possible. I thought we attacked their paint very well. You give the fact that they have Rudy Gobert on the floor, and we were still able to kind of get inside and have our will. A lot of that was a testament to playing Dwight Howard, as well as to us just being more efficient with connecting on layups, particularly Russell Westbrook, just getting to the basket and being better in that way. Um, it just led to us having more success on the inside. So, I wasn't entirely upset with this game. I felt like we were really missing LeBron out there tonight. Just overall superstardom that he provides, kind of letting people fall into place to have open shots and stuff like that. We didn't have to look for offense as much when he's out there tonight. We were forced to try to find offense. I don't think we moved the ball as well tonight as we would have liked to. We usually have more assists than we did. I think we walked out of there under our average. So, you just want to see us just move the ball more and play better in that way, play more together. Um, Carmelo Anthony was out there making his presence felt, but I just felt like once again you just didn't want to lean on him as much as we did. He was exploited tonight defensively, as clockwork would always have it. That's every day. Stanley Johnson, a little disappointed. The two players that I need to get more out of in a game like tonight, Stanley Johnson and Austin Reeves, it disappointed me tonight a little bit. I just look at the box score and I just don't see any production there from those two guys in a game where we need our youngsters with whatever minutes they're given to be as productive and as active as humanly possible. We just did not get enough out of those guys tonight. Malik Monk was active but not efficient. He didn't really have it like that, and from a scoring perspective, and that's where we were hurt. We just really didn't get enough out of the players that we needed to see more from. Frank Vogel, he leaned on his vets, and I'm at a point where if this were maybe 3 months ago, I would be screaming about how unhappy I am with Frank and it going all into a huge deal. But this far into the season, it's just normal, dude. You don't even really react to what it is that he does, other than to say, this is what happens when you keep him around. You get what you get. He's going to make certain decisions that are not going to help your team, and he's going to forego opportunities that will. And that's just what you see out there from a night in, night out basis. Tonight, that was him not leaning on Wenyen Gabriel-Moore, even though he was in severe foul trouble. You needed him on the floor, and he was 3 out of 4. You needed that. Not leaning on THT a bit more, given the fact that he was scoring the ball very well tonight, and pretty much looked good in the box score. When you look at his stats, you look at his numbers on the floor in terms of his minutes, and you just don't see him getting the minutes that he should have gotten in a game like tonight. I don't know why this team has so much of a affinity, that's not the word, trust for veterans. I really don't. Leaning on veterans has served them not all year long, and it seems to me when it's time to win, when it's time to put players on the floor that you trust, we tend to lean on guys that are no longer productive in this league. And I think that's old thinking. That is outdated software right there. That's old people applying stuff that would have worked 10 years ago to a time where it no longer is necessary. And so this, in my opinion, is a time where you play your youngsters, especially when you have a roster so limited. You go with the more able bodies than the experience, because the experience can't execute against younger talent. I don't care how much they know. They're getting run out of the gym. This is a physical sport. You need to be able to physically be able to perform. You relying on people doing X's and O's. My friends, if we're going to do that, why stop at the players that we're playing with? Why not just reach into the past for players who are completely done, because you know they can help you with the X's and O's? Give me Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I want Gary Payton to come out of retirement. Go get me Reggie Miller for shooting. Go get me Ray Allen for shooting. If we're going to just forego the need to be physical altogether, then why are we limiting ourselves to Trevor Ariza and players like Dwight? Let's reach into the past for the greatest players of all time. Grab Magic Johnson, see if he wants to suit up. If we just don't care nothing about being able to match up physically with the athletes on the floor. If it's so much about experience and talent, then get me Kareem. What are we doing? You see what I'm saying? Go grab Michael Jordan, see if he wants to come play some ball, because that is what this is equivalent to in my mind. This is about as an asinine decision as that would be. You understand what I'm saying? If they can't run around, then they can't run around, fam. I don't give a damn what they know. They could be Yoda out there. It doesn't matter. They can't run around. And so this is what you're running into, and Frank Vogel believes that osmosis and kinetic mind control is enough to make basketball games successful for him. And Obviously, he has a whole season full of data that shows him otherwise, but he's going to stick with what he believes in because that's just what he's going to do. So we live and die with those decisions. And that is why I think keeping him around has been harmful. Granted, the roster itself has been ridiculous because you've given him all these horrible options from which to choose. But that he would choose the options that he did just speaks to how he is a problem in and of himself. Isolated to his own, he is a problem. One that we haven't had any success in overcoming. And so that's what we saw more of tonight. More of the same. Yet another loss added to the Frank Vogel column. You know, Frank Vogel and Rob Pelinka have come together to provide extraordinary failures for this team. They've collaborated on what would be, to me, the most disappointing Lakers season in the history of the sport. You know, and it's just it's not because they're the only pieces that are to be blamed, but they're the most important ones. They're the ones who ultimately dreamt this up. One of them dreamt it up, and the other one's supposed to execute the vision. And they both have done a poor job with that part of the game. You know, those parts of the game. So I'm over it. I'm over all of it. I want everybody to leave. Leave. Like, all of y'all. Get up out of here. There shouldn't be nobody here but the kids and Bron. That's it. And I would trade Bron if I were in position to do so, just off of sheer necessity. But since people respect him in such a way, I'm not going to object to that. I do too. Fine. But everybody else got to go. They got to go, man. That starts with the front office. All the genies, confidants, anybody who's mismanaging the value of these players and mismanaging the evaluation of talent, having us picking up players that ain't got no business being on the team, overpaying people that shouldn't be overpaid, just not understanding the lay of the land at all. She needs to get rid of each and every soul that had anything to do with putting this team together. Honestly. And then proceed to change the entire mindset of this team. First of all, we like draft picks. This fan base likes draft picks. I've said this more than once. We want our very own kids. We want kids that we've drafted. Whether they're the best kid that year or the second best or the third, you need to understand that doesn't matter as much to us. It doesn't. Just that we see that player grow into their very best in our uniform and play the game the right way. If they give us their all, we'll love them. And we'll believe in them. Trust me, it doesn't matter who they are. We'll believe in them. But this whole idea that we need to bring superstars to this team just for the sake of them being superstars because we're the Lakers, that's outdated. It doesn't work. It didn't work when we were doing it. We just got lucky because we had some of the best players in the world helping us along the way. We just happened to have those great players. Some of them came to us in free agency. Others came to us via the draft. But we have had great fortune. It wasn't just us doing things the right way and then things coming our way. No. If we're going to have good fortune, again, you got to position yourself. You got to ready yourself to be in a position to catch that success. You can't get the best next talent if you don't have draft picks. You can't get the best free agent if you don't have cap space. You can't get any of the things that you need in order to be in a position to have good luck if you don't make some changes that give you an opportunity to have a future. Now, I understand all the mistakes that we made, and I also understand how hard it's going to be to get out of this hole. I understand how long it could take to get out of this hole, and I understand what it needs to happen in order for us to do so. But if we don't start that process, we can continue to dig this hole even deeper. That's not going to be difficult to do. With the mistakes and the decision making and the way that things work, the way things appear to work with this team, you got this Pincus article that's coming out detailing all of these issues. And I haven't read it yet, but I've been hearing a lot about it, and it's like I remember most of the moves that have been referenced. They've all been bad. When you still have that brain trust in order, you best believe your next move is going to be just as bad as your last one, Genie. Do not think that things are going to change just because you suddenly have a different mindset. If the people around you are still the same people, you're going to definitely have the same results. You got to bring in some professionals as I've said, who are stars in the field, who have their own best interests wrapped up in yours because they want to continue their careers, and using our opportunity as either their pinnacle or a stepping stone. But either way, you definitely want the Lakers to be on the next star GM's mind as the place he wants to come to. You know, and I hate to be the guy that's already dismissive of Rob Pelinka, but I'm cool. Like he's already gone in my mind, and so is Frank. Like I'm that kind of guy. I'm telling you though. I think you guys know that if you follow me. I don't play around about things that when you've proven that it's time for you to leave, you're already gone. It's already worked into my mind that you're gone. Like that's where I'm at with Rob Pelinka. It ain't personal. I think he's capable of making good decisions. I think his hands have been tied behind his back. I think he's done a lot to try to please LeBron in the timeline. But I think ultimately it's just come down to everybody needs a change. And the Lakers need a new voice in place. Regardless of whether Rob is capable of making the right decisions or not is irrelevant. We just need to gut out this entire process and change what we have in place. If we're going to build what it is we're going to build, it can't be the same people who just did this. It can't be. Because it ain't just about what they're capable of. It's about the optics and who's going to be working with you or negotiating with you in the future. Those type of things. Right now, we boo-boo the fool. With all the bad decisions that we made that have been now documented for us to all to read and all that. You're going to be getting lowballed from here to Texas. Every single deal you try to make because of the lack of assets that you have, and because everybody knows that the same people are in place to negotiate your next deal are the ones that just did the deals that we're talking about. Yeah, they're gonna be trying to lowball them. You gotta get them people up out of there and replace them with people they're gonna be forced to respect. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm a different type of mind, man. I'm different. Like, I'm different. I'm not sitting up here saying I have all the answers, or that I know things are possible. You know what I mean? Because I don't have detail, but in the framework of what would just improve the situation from a broader perspective, yeah, I know what the Lakers need. It starts with gutting that front office and bringing in some people that Jeanie doesn't know that can do the job completely and utterly professional. Sharks, real ones, sharks that are going to come in and say, look, this is what we need to do, this is how we're going to do it. Whoever doesn't like it, thanks. We need those type of people to come in, a big group of basic cap space scientists, more or less, and then real feel for the game type professionals around them to balance out the game itself with the numbers. Bring a balance of those two types of people in. Respect the analytics and respect the field guys, the basketball guys. Have them come together in agreement and build this team. It'll take about 5 years, but you will build another championship franchise because guys are going to want to come play in LA. You don't have to worry about that. So that's what I think the Lakers need to do. Don't worry about how long it's going to take. Don't worry about the fan base. Just build it right. Build it right. That's all you got to worry about. Because you best believe Ballmer's going to do what he got to do. And he ain't leaving. You have no incentive to leave, and he got all the money in the world. So you're going to forever be in competition with this dude until he decides to move the team, which I think he will do. Once he realizes we ain't going to leave the Lakers. We're not. We don't care about the Clippers no matter what he does. He can win 5 championships in a row, and we're still going to root for the Lakers against him. And eventually that's going to get old. But for now, you have to deal with him. You have to deal with him. And so I would suggest the Lakers just not worry too much about the past or whatever their plan is, the plan that they have in place. I would scrap it. I would scrap it and just start completely and utterly over. Just completely and utterly over. And understand that the Lakers are going to, by sheer name alone, attract the best the game can bring to them. You just got to be smart enough to pick the right people to come to you. That's it. And empower them to do their jobs. That is it. And that's what I want to see as a fan. I don't want to go down this road
kicking the can with the same people trying to come back, shuffling up the same cards. I understand we're probably going to have the same roster next year anyway, and that's just what it has to be. But as far as what we're doing behind the scenes as an organization, I want to see her plucking people up out of there, empowering her brothers a bit more, the ones who are scouts, empower them a bit more. Because if you really, really consider what the Lakers' biggest strength is right now, in my opinion, it's in their scouting department. And you know who's running the scouting department? Other bus bros. Some of Jerry's sons. So like I don't I don't suggest that they take over the team or that they have to step outside of themselves to move Genie out of the way or nothing like that. But I think when you realize, hey, it should click in our heads that not only are our scouts good, but they just happen to be co-owners. We should kind of give them more say-so and let the basketball people around them help us get more talent on this team. The G League is our friend, and I can't stress that enough. So this game is a wrap. Utah was fair enough to win. I don't think they played amazing, but I think they did enough to get a victory. I don't really like their team, how they're constructed either. Their style of play, none of that. I don't really like anything about Utah this year. And I would like to play them if we were to make them playoffs, but I don't think we're going to make the playoffs because of how we're playing. But I'll tell you this, we got a big game against the Pelicans. AD and LeBron James are supposed to be trying to give it a go for that game. We'll see if they actually do so. And obviously, if they are available, that makes us a much better basketball team. And they're capable of doing great things, as we know. So it'll be on those two hobbled super duper stars to lead us as far as they're going to take us. And, they know what their responsibility is. They know how they feel. They know what this team's about. If I were them, I wouldn't play it all. But since they're going to, I expect them to give it their all. So, I just wish my franchise would make better decisions for itself. Be more of a friend to its future rather than just a slave to its present. But, you can't change people's minds. You can just suggest and hope the word gets their way. So that's what I do. My name is BDF44. I give the game ball to Rudy Gobert for 17 big rebounds. I really like how Russell played the game once again tonight. Even though he wasn't perfect, he's getting better. And just overall disappointing. Disappointed we didn't fire this coach. Disappointed we didn't fire the coach, truly. I mean, if we would have did that, I think a night like tonight, you probably would have got a victory. Because you wouldn't have went small ball. You would have seen more Wenyen Gabriel. Would have seen more hot hands. You would have gotten more out of certain other players. You wouldn't have seen so much Trevor Ariza. You certainly wouldn't have seen Carmelo Anthony be sealed out in the paint to get just laid the ball up over by Rudy Gobert, which is a play that's just playing in my head right now as I'm talking to you. But it's just the type of stuff that just you wouldn't see if Ty Lue was your coach. You wouldn't see if Rick Carlisle was your coach. Like, these are the type of things you just like, man, this is only Frank Vogel type stuff. Not firing him was harmful. Simple as that. My name is BDF44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.